Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream, my friends. I hope everyone is doing good. We got ourselves some more updates on the tropics, folks. Got ourselves a bit of a system. The storm's actually starting to look a little better. We're going to go ahead and jump right on into it, my friends. First of all, J-Lord, dude, thank you so much for the $2 super chat saying milk. Couldn't agree more, my friend. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. So, looking at our storm now, y'all, it's actually looking a little better. It's still pretty much disorganized, you know. There's still not a whole lot of convection towards the center of that storm, but there is more convection around the center, which is obviously good signs that this thing is picking up strength. We are right on the edge of this thing being classified as a tropical storm. It is still considered a still considered a potential tropical cyclone. It is not a, like I said, it is currently not a tropical storm, but here soon it will likely get that name here, probably tomorrow morning. Probably going to get that name for tomorrow morning. I think the name's Alberto. I think I figured that out last live stream earlier today. When I did a bit of coverage on severe weather, I think we determined that was Alberto. Yes, Alberto will be the name of this storm here. So that is going to be the name of this guy. But like I was saying, though, I mean, our central low is located right here. And we're starting to see convection on both the northern and the southern extent. While, like I said, there's not a whole lot of convection towards the center of the low, which there really should be. Honestly, it's looking a bit better, and you can obviously make out that counterclockwise spin on that system overall. So she's picking up some strength. She's organizing a little bit better. But like I said, you know, for the people who wonder, and I've had a lot of people ask me, is this thing going to get up to hurricane strength? The answer to that is most likely not. This storm is pretty much doomed for landfall here pretty soon. If I hop you guys over here to the overall the cone and stuff like that. Actually, tropical storm force winds. Wow. Boy, did that wind field really grow in size. Holy cow. All right, we're going to hop you all over here to the main screen here. Here's the latest update from the Hurricane Center. So the yellow area there, that is where your estimated tropical storm force winds are. So while this storm is not considered a tropical storm right now, there is still tropical storm force winds in this storm. Wow, really covering a lot of the central and western Gulf here. We do have ourselves, tropical storm warnings did get extended to the north, just shy of Houston. Just slightly to the south of Houston, towards the Galveston Bay, slightly to the south of that. We do have ourselves tropical storm warnings in effect for the central and southern coastlines here of Texas, including the northeastern coast of Mexico, is under a tropical storm warning, meaning that tropical storm conditions is expected overall. Let's go ahead and see what we got here today. First of all, I forgot to do a warm welcome to everybody. First of all, once again, J-Lord, thank you so much. Appreciate it. We got Brother, we have Misty, we have Haley, we have Brent, J-Lord, we have Legacy. Let's see here. We got ourselves Mark. What's up, Mark? Hope you're doing good, man. We got ourselves Winnie. Let's see here. Got ourselves, let's see here. Charizard, I think her name is. Let's see here. Brady. And of course, everybody else who's joining and not chatting. Hope you guys are doing good. So, but yeah, like I was saying, pretty large wind field there. You know, once again, tropical storm force winds are estimated to be within this area here of that yellow. That is your current wind field estimate of tropical storm force winds overall. But yeah, so like I said, we do have those tropical storm warnings in place. Actually, we are expecting that transition now to be a little bit later. Hurricane Center is now saying tomorrow evening is whenever we are expecting basically the transition from the name of a potential tropical cyclone into that tropical storm status. We're now saying that that's going to be somewhere in tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening overall, and that landfall is going to be expected pretty much late Wednesday into early Thursday. It's going to be a pretty early landfall here for Thursday morning. I do plan on doing coverage for you guys on this first tropical cyclone making landfall, so I will prepare for that, as we'll probably need some tropical coverage to cover the coastlines and all that fun stuff. So we will be live there for that. Now, when it comes to rainfall, there's a lot of rain, my friends. Corpus Christi still expecting the same amount of rainfall as we have been for the last couple of updates here. We have 8 to 12 inches of rainfall expected out there near Corpus Christi. That is going to be a lot of rain. It's going to be causing some really nasty impacts out there. Wouldn't be surprised if we actually pull a high risk for flooding out in those regions here. We actually already have a moderate risk in place regarding that flooding potential here. Let me go ahead and hop you all over here back to my main screen. You can actually see we do have a moderate risk for flooding there for the Corpus Christi area. Really wouldn't be surprised if we do maybe get a little high risk out there towards Corpus Christi regarding flooding. Obviously, I'm not the Weather Prediction Center. I can't tell you for sure, but that really wouldn't surprise me given the fact of that. Today, actually, we did have a moderate earlier, but we actually have ourselves, just a moderate for tomorrow regarding flooding. So just a bit of a heads up for you guys. Once again, we're going to have a lot of heavy rain for South Texas. Make sure you guys are ready for it because, like I said, there is definitely going to be a really good amount of rainfall. Now, areas out there by like Houston and San Antonio, overall, first of all, since our first update on the tropics here yesterday, I think it was, the rain totals have shifted south a bit. They used to go up towards Dallas. Dallas was expected to see maybe a couple inches of rainfall. That is now way to the south here. Houston could see anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. San Antonio, a little bit more, 2 to 4 inches expected. Obviously, we have Brownsville, Texas, which is very far south Texas there. We're talking 4 to 6 inches of rainfall out in there. That's right on the border then. That's right on the Mexico-U.S. border towards Brownsville. We'll be expecting, once again, 4 to 6 inches, potentially up to a half a foot of rainfall will be quite possible in that region there. So that is kind of what we're looking out there for. Look at this. There's actually the international forecast here. This is quite a bit of rainfall. El Salvador, we're actually seeing possibly 16 to 20 inches of rainfall. You can actually see 10 plus locally areas. This is from the National Weather Service here. This is the international forecast. You guys can see there's a lot of rain expected. The Yucatan could pick up maybe up to a little over a half a foot of rainfall on the eastern and western coastlines there. Could pick up a little bit. But overall, like I said, definitely some heavy rainfall coming in with this guy. We'll definitely need to be looking out there for overall. Now, surges, not a whole lot has changed. Actually, really nothing has changed since our last update here on the tropics. We did do a little bit of an update on my earlier live stream today whenever I was doing that coverage for Minnesota. We did a little bit of coverage today, about 2 hours of coverage. And when it came to it, we did do a little update on the tropics. Really not a whole lot has changed on regarding to the surges. Now, we are expecting a little bit of surging out there, all the way there from basically near Brownsville, basically the coast off of Brownsville, right there at the mouth of the Rio Grande, going all the way up here towards Sargent Coast, and actually between Sargent Coast and Sublim Pass, right there on the border between Texas and Louisiana. This includes the Galveston Bay, which is basically where Houston's at. We are expecting those coastal areas to potentially receive anywhere from 2 to 4 foot of storm surge. So basically, we are expecting 2 to 4 foot of water to be above sea level and kind of push its way in. So there will be likely some coastal flooding overall. So we'll definitely keep an eye out there for that, as there could be a bit of coastal impacts, with the greatest kind of being up there for the northern and kind of central portions there of the coast of Texas. Obviously, the storm's center is going to be way down here. It's off the map. But actually, the heaviest of the surges is going to be over here up on that northeastern side here overall. So, anyways, y'all, so that's kind of what's going on there. Wind speed probabilities, those are definitely increasing. Tropical storm force wind probabilities is exceeding 90% in this kind of maroonish color, I think that is. Not the best with color names, but I'm pretty sure it's like a maroon color. And of course, we can actually see ourselves like Brownsville starting to really pick up there, maybe towards 50 to 60%. That's only going to go up from here as the storm gets more organized and all that stuff. But yeah, we are definitely starting to see those probabilities of tropical storm force winds increasing out there in those regions overall. Obviously, hurricane force winds are not expected with this storm system. Like I said, for the people who's wondering, this storm will not achieve this thing will not achieve hurricane force, criteria. The storm here is expected. Here, let's hop over here. just upon landfall, the storm is expected to just be kind of a lower end tropical storm. I don't even think we're going to get up to 50 mile an hour sustained. We're going to have some gusts near 60, which is not even gusting to hurricane force. So we are not expecting the storm system to be hurricane force. Now, once again, hopping back to the infrared satellite view on this storm here, this thing looks a little better than it did earlier, that's for sure. Once again, our central low is located right here. So that's where that low is located. We do got some convection to the north. We do have some convection to the south. Obviously lacking a little bit of convection to the west here, and we do have a bit of convection to the east as well. So once again, it is looking a lot better organized than it has been over the last little bit. We do got ourselves, earlier, actually we had ourselves most of that convection well to the south and southeast of that central low. And the fact that we are now starting to see a lot of that convection popping up to the north is showing clear signs that this storm is strengthening. And like I was saying, I mean, earlier here yesterday, whenever it comes to like the sea surface temperatures of the waters, it is very hot. I mean, we are talking in the region there, 30 degrees Celsius waters. That is near 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So we are definitely seeing some very, very hot waters out there in the Gulf, especially for that region. Actually, it's the hottest in that region where that storm is trying to develop there. The only problem is that, like I said, it's doomed for landfall here pretty soon, within the next day or so. So while, like I said, if this system was just to sit there and not really do anything, if it was just going to stall out over the region, it would definitely pick up some strength. But it's not expected to do that. It's actually expected just to continue to roll its way here to the west, eventually making that landfall towards Mexico on the eastern coast overall. So since it's not sitting there for a while, it's not going to be allowed to pick up too much strength. But like I said, I mean, obviously, from the way it's looking now, it is starting to pick up that strength. We are really starting to see that counterclockwise circulation on that storm, really starting to pick up that swirling there. So it's trying. It is definitely trying out there. And like I said, you can really see all that convection starting to pop off. But anyways, yeah, so like I was saying, whenever it comes to it, once again, we are expecting that landfall. Let's go ahead and hop over back here to our main cone here for you guys so you guys can kind of see this as well. We are expecting that landfall to be sometime pretty much late tomorrow, early Thursday. That is when we are expecting the landfall. Basically, the center of that low to approach land will be sometime tomorrow evening or basically early Thursday morning. So once again, we will be live to cover that overall with you guys overall. Let me go ahead and get to some of these comments here. Once again, I'm sorry I'm not being too interactive in the chat. I just got a lot of stuff I got to talk about here, man. So I'm going to try my best. Anyways, do I know where Northport, Florida is? I'm sure you do. The population of about 82,000. I am not familiar with Northport. I've heard of it, but I couldn't tell you where it's at on the map. Let's see here. Doesn't Andrew live near Orlando? I do. I live between Orlando and Tampa. Obviously not disclosing exactly where I live, but I live between Tampa and Orlando. I'm right in here. Oh, you can't even see that. I am right in here. Right in this area there. Anyways, let's see here. Speaking of, actually, I do want to go ahead and show you guys something. So we are watching another storm, actually another two storms here. I don't know if y'all have heard about these guys. We have one actually tracking towards the Florida and Georgia coast. Now, this one I'm not concerned about, really. I haven't really talked about it too much. I've actually lost interest in that system. It seems the models have too. But we are talking throughout the next week a 20% chance of tropical probability of development. So basically, we have ourselves, so within the next 7 days, the next week from now, there's a 20% chance that this storm will be a tropical depression or a tropical storm. I don't think it's going to do it, personally. The probabilities have been pretty low for a while. It seems like the models aren't really picking up on it too much anymore. We have another storm system that actually gained a little bit more traction here today. Earlier this morning, we had an overall formation chance of 20%. They actually upgraded it to a 30% chance. Now, remember, this is actually not the system that's in the Gulf right now. This is actually another system. Once this guy rolls through, there's actually another system that could develop out in this region as well. So it's kind of one after another here for the southern Gulf. Now let's go ahead and hop over to the models here. We're going to take a look at the GFS. I really want to kind of look at the south central view Let's go ahead and zoom out here, and we're going to hop on over here to our main models here. So, you know what? I might actually just do this. Maybe I can grab more of a southeastern view. Might be a little bit better. There we go. That should work. Anyway, so yeah, you can kind of see a lot of rainfall being injected into Texas as that storm system rolls through. There's your low. So that low is expected to make landfall once again, kind of for the morning of Thursday, from what it looks like. And then, of course, we have a new model run coming through. But then later on down in time, it's kind of hard to tell. Let me go to the North Atlantic view. So pay attention right here in the Gulf. So we have this system that's rolling through. You can see it right there. That'll make landfall on Thursday morning. And then, of course, after that, there could be another low to shortly follow that. So we'll have to see what goes on with that. Bottom line is that what we're seeing here is a lot of tropical moisture. We are seeing a lot of rainfall working its way out there towards the Gulf. I mean, really driving a lot of, really driving a lot of rainfall for some of those regions. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. Now, for that storm that's heading towards Florida and the Carolina coast there, when it comes to it, honestly, models really don't pick up on it too much anymore. There it is. It's kind of hard to see. The models really kind of lost interest in that storm system, which it just seems like the probability is completely tanked, to be honest with you. Let's see here. Latest model runs like the CMC. I mean, you can see that little area there. That's where that system is going to be at. But it really does seem, like I said, the overall verdict of this storm seems to have really dropped, and it really doesn't look like we're going to have ourselves much of anything to really worry about with that storm system. So I do believe that that's that 20% that we do have available overall formation, I think it's going to drop to near zero eventually. I really am not anticipating on this thing becoming a tropical system. So just for the people who's wondering, like I said, I really don't see much out of this here, considering the models have lost a lot of support for it. And just overall, it's really not really too crazy looking here. Now, if we take a look over at the satellite imagery, you can actually see. Let me zoom in a little bit there for you guys. So here's latest satellite imagery across the Atlantic. So there's actually that system right there. That's the one that we were talking is going to potentially head its way towards Florida. It looks like, honestly, just given how strong of wind shear we have, that's probably why there's so much limitations with that storm system. It's probably due to a lot of this strong wind shear. And of course, we got ourselves that big system in the Gulf brewing there. That's the big system. There's not much wind shear out there affecting this storm too much. It's a very large, very, very large storm system out there. The one that's brewing in the Gulf. And like I was saying, if it was sitting for a while there in the Gulf, I feel like it would pick up a lot of strength if it was just sitting there. But it is not expected to stall out, so it's just going to continue to roll its way to the west here, going over there towards Mexico. So when it comes to it, once again, for the people wondering, no, this will not become a hurricane. This is not expected to become a hurricane. Once again, maximum strength out of this storm here is kind of expected to be in the realm of pretty much like, mid-lower tropical storm force. I mean, like I said, we're not even seeing wind gusts up to 70. The maximum wind gust with this storm here is going to be right around 60 mile per hour. So once again, nothing super wild regarding the winds here. Speaking of the winds, let's just go ahead and take a look at the wind field here. Let me go ahead and bring up my models on my other page. Hold on a second. Let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so let me kind of get a little off topic here for a second. So here's the... Oh, shoot. Of course, that decides it wants to do that. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and pull this back up for you guys. Okay, so anyways, whenever it comes to it, let me go ahead and open all this back up here. Sometimes my my computer just loves to drop all my tabs for me. So anyway, so here's our current warnings. We have a lot of heat advisories in effect up there in the Northeast, actually out there towards the Ohio Valley too. Those pink areas are excessive heat warnings. Let's see here, the kind of red, dark red colors out there like in eastern Pennsylvania, those are excessive heat watches, and all the kind of orangish colors, these kind of peach colors, that's heat advisories. Got ourselves a lot of flash flood, we got ourselves a lot of flood watches, flash flood warnings in effect out there towards, let's see here. It's hard to tell because tropical storm warnings and flash flood. I think these are flash flood warnings. I think these are tropical storm warnings here. Yeah, so those are our tropical storm warnings. Actually leading its way up there towards the central and southern coast of Texas there. But yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on. I just want to go ahead and look at that really quickly. Let me go ahead and bring up our main page here again. We're going to go ahead and bring this up. So I'm going to pull up the models here. We're going to take a look at that wind field on the storm system here. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let me try the... Will be a good model to look at this. I think we're going to pull up maybe the... just never look at the NAM. I'll tell you that. Never look at the NAM for the tropics. The NAM is not a good model to look at the tropical activity. I don't think there's really any good... we'll pull up GFS. Why not? Let's just look at the GFS. GFS is a fair model to look at when it comes to the tropics and stuff like that. So let me go ahead and bring up our Gulf of Mexico view here for you guys, and we'll take a look at those wind fields. So let's go ahead and hop on over here, y'all. So this is kind of what the wind field is looking like. So what's going to be happening here is, we're already already starting to see a bit of those swelling effects likely already starting to happen there. So there you go. So there's where our low, the GFS, has that, once again, that landfall happening for early Thursday morning. Thursday morning is whenever that landfall is going to take place. That central low is going to be making that landfall in Mexico, not Texas. But what's going to be happening here? So these are basically near our surface winds. This is 10 meters up, so what, about 30 foot or so, I believe, roughly, off the ground. So when it comes to it, though, yeah, the winds are going to be just pushing right at the Texas coast. So you can actually see how those little wind barbs, they're pointing right at the Texas coast. So what that's essentially going to be doing is that is going to be allowing for that water to be kind of pushed inland towards Texas. That's going to allow for some swelling, obviously for some of that surging to take place, basically due to those strong winds. Now these are not gusts. These are actual sustained winds. And throughout most of the coast here, we're talking sustained winds of nearly 30 knots, which we're getting near tropical storm force. Now we're going to be definitely gusting into tropical storm force. Let me go ahead and bring you over here for 1 second. Let me go ahead and log in real quickly on this page. I don't want to show all my stuff here, but let me go ahead and log in real quickly, and we'll bring this view back up for you guys. But obviously, so let's go and take a look at the, here we go. So let's go ahead and take a look at those wind gusts, per se, instead of the, here we go. Yeah. All right, let's go and hop y'all back over here. So we're going to take a look at those gusts instead of the sustained winds out there. Now the models, like GFS here, does show a lot of the coastline probably getting anywhere from 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts out there. Current time being, we're probably already gusting up to 30 miles an hour, so maybe up to 40 at maximum. Let me pull up our radar view. I'm curious to see kind of what we're looking out there for. We might already have some wind reports coming through already from that. I wouldn't be surprised. Those marine stations start reporting those winds, a threshold a little over 30 miles an hour, I'm pretty sure. So actually, yeah, look at this here. Let me bring y'all over here. We have our little wind barbs here. These are observed reports coming through. We have those wind barbs reporting 25, 30 knot wind barbs out there towards the Galveston Bay. We actually do have ourselves a 30 knot wind barb. So yeah, we're definitely getting some pretty strong winds out there currently. Let me see if I can get a camera available for y'all. I don't know if we have any cameras out there towards Galveston. Let me see what we can do. I honestly, I don't think we do. Maybe I can pull up a Miracle or something on here on Cyclone Port. I'm not too sure if they have any available cameras. It does look like they do, actually. Yes, they do. Okay, so here's a live camera. There's really not a whole lot to see with it, per se. Here, let's go ahead and open that back up here. Let me go ahead and open that to... Is there not a full screen? Oh, I'm just an idiot. I keep on forgetting. You have to click it. Okay. So, yeah, there's not a whole lot to see here. We do have a little bit of rain. You can see, really, it looks like shooting stars, which is really interesting how the camera picks that up. But when it comes to it, though, wow, look at that. Look at the rain. That is just wicked looking. Why is there, tracers on the rain? I guess our raindrops have tracers now, according to this camera. Anyways, though, yeah. So it is raining. Overall, the winds, yeah, we are talking 5-minute gusts up to 27 miles an hour. So, we're definitely gusting pretty good. When it comes to the pressure, let's see, pressure tendency. Last 30 minutes is rising. Last 12 hours is rising. The last 24 hours is down a little bit. Doesn't look like the pressure is changing a whole lot, but I do expect that pressure to drop down there just a little bit, of course, as that system gets closer towards the region. Probably won't drop too much. It's going to drop more towards these regions here, out there where the landfall point is going to be. Models kind of showing that central low, estimating to be maybe in the mid to low 990 millibar range. So, right around that tropical storm force, right around that tropical storm pressure equivalent there. Now, maximum winds, we're going to hop back over here. So, according to GFS, maximum winds here, we could see some pretty strong winds out there once we make landfall on that northeastern quadrant of that cyclone. So, in a tropical system, the northeastern quadrant is the most violent. That is where your strongest winds, your strongest wind shear, your strongest instability, a lot of your mixing stuff is really the greatest up in the northeastern quadrant of a tropical cyclone. And according to GFS here, we are probably going to be seeing maybe 60, 65 mile per hour wind gusts according to GFS there. Now, obviously, I don't really want to buy that itself. I do want to look at another model. So let's go and take a look at the ECMWF here. Now, same thing is occurring here, according between the ECMWF and the GFS model we were just looking at. Once again, same story here. All those winds are really battering out there towards Texas, causing that swelling to occur out there overall. So that is kind of the thing here. We're seeing maybe 25, 30 knots sustained throughout the coast for the next little bit. Now, of course, as we roll away towards landfall here, this one has that pressure a little bit higher than the GFS does, maybe more towards the upper 990 millibar range upon landfall here, which landfall between both models is expected to be early Thursday morning. Now, hopping over to the wind gusts regarding our potential gusting winds out there. Now, the European actually has it a little stronger, as you can actually see, maybe gusting near 40 to 50 miles an hour out there towards the coast, basically towards central and southern coast of Texas there. It really doesn't show it getting much higher, maybe near 60 up in that northeastern quadrant before landfall. GFS obviously shows heavier winds, the heaviest winds, but the European does show more heavier winds for the Texas coastline, potentially once again between 40 and 50 mile per hour wind gusts. So that itself, we'll definitely have to look out there for it. It's actually been pretty windy up here in Florida today. We've had some pretty strong wind gusts. Tomorrow it's going to be pretty much the same, really the same for the next couple of days actually here across Florida. We're a pretty flat state down here. And, we're actually getting a lot of that inflow from that storm system. So we have our low pressure system right in here. So basically what's happening is these guys are wrapping in a lot of that air. So these guys rotate counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere. So we're basically just, pouring a lot of those winds going over Florida and heading right there towards the Texas coast overall. See you later, Samuel. Thanks for joining, man. Let's see here. Not windy here today, but just hot. Yeah, it was both. Here today, it was both. It's actually a little bit cloudy. Thankful for it today. It's been nothing but hot heat down here in Florida recently. But yeah, no, it's actually been, it was actually pretty nice today. We had a little bit of showers today too, up in Florida. Had a little bit of unexpected rain, which I ain't complaining. We definitely needed it. Overall. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're looking out there for, my friends. And, whenever hopping over to the models regarding rainfall and stuff like that, like I said, y'all, we're going to see a lot of rain out there towards the Texas coast. I mean, we could easily see over a half a foot of rainfall. Hopping on back over here, let's see here. Hopping on back to the Hurricane Center outlook here. Like I was mentioning, overall with that system, let's see here. We're going to hop back here. Might need to go back to our main page. Here we go. Okay, so when it comes to that rainfall there, like I was saying, Corpus Christi region, that's where we're going to see some of the heaviest amount of rainfall. We are actually expecting to see ranging accumulations once again between 8 and 12 inches of rainfall. So definitely quite a bit of rain out there towards Corpus Christi is expected. San Antonio, we could pick up once again 2 to 4 inches of rainfall out there. Houston, more towards 1 to 2 inches. Loretto could be seeing 4 to 6 inches. In Brownsville, same thing, 4 to 6 inches of rainfall. That is kind of what we're seeing there. Will Central Texas get anything? Depends on how where you're at in Central Texas. You could get a little bit of rain from this, but most of that rain is going to remain to the south overall. Central Texas out in these regions here probably is not going to see too much impacts from this storm system. A lot of the impacts here regarding this system is going to be mostly in these regions here of Texas. Those are going to be the heaviest impacted. So obviously the coastal areas of Texas will be impacted by potential mild surging and heavy rainfall. And of course, just the southern portion of Texas in general with all of that rain rolling through. The main problem with this storm system is not necessarily the winds, but more of the flooding aspect of things. We're going to see a lot more, rainfall. We're going to see a lot of rain and a lot of water coming from this system, especially out there by the coastlines, near Corpus Christi. Once again, we're expecting 8 to 12 inches of rain. You also got to consider the fact that we're going to be seeing some swelling, as those winds are pushing right at the shore, pushing right there towards the beaches. That's going to allow for some of that water to be kind of pushed against the coast, which will allow for some rising, some swelling, potentially, like I said, some surges out there. So we're going to have a little bit, a couple feet higher than normal waters out there from all that swelling of the water being pushed against the shore. So of course, coastal flooding will be a concern for those shallow areas there. And of course, we will be seeing, like I was mentioning, the rainfall as well. So there's going to be a lot of flooding towards Corpus Christi. Once again, I wouldn't be surprised, like I was mentioning earlier, I really wouldn't be surprised if we did have ourselves a high risk actually being issued for flooding. We already have a moderate level 3 out of 4 risk on the flooding table. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a level 4 out of 4 here for Corpus Christi tomorrow. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Once again, I really wouldn't be surprised. So we'll keep an eye on it overall. Let's see here. It's been 90 plus for at least the last 7 days in a row. It's been 90 plus here for the last several weeks in Florida. It's been pretty brutal. Actually, we've had a little bit of a break. Today we got down to 90 degrees, which was actually a bit of a cooler day here in Florida. We've been typically getting up to around 95 to 97 or so. Kind of mid to upper 90s is how it's been in Florida for the last couple of weeks. It's been pretty warm. But that's just typical Florida for you. Anyways, guys, yeah, if y'all have any questions, feel free to let me know in the chat, and if there's anything you want me to take a look at, feel free to let me know. But honestly, like I said, that's pretty much really what I wanted to go over with you guys with the new update and stuff like that. We have had some new changes, like I said, the track. We're now expecting this storm here, well, same track, but we're expecting this storm to transition from that potential tropical cyclone into that tropical storm sometime later tomorrow. We were expecting that to occur sometime this morning, which it's now today. So today's currently Wednesday now here in the Eastern time zone. But for you guys, it'll be for tomorrow. But yeah, so when it comes to it, probably sometime around afternoon, evening is when we're going to see that transition from that potential tropical cyclone into that tropical storm. Alberto is what it will likely be. So overall, 80% chance, of this thing being named. So the odds are definitely in favor. Once again, I mean, taking a look here at the current satellite view, while we're still pretty disorganized, of course, it's looking a little better. It is definitely looking a little better out there. Once again, we actually have some convection to our north now, and we actually have convection to the south as well. So it's looking a little better, of course, overall. But whenever it comes to it, though, like I said, by the time of tomorrow, we'll have to see how this thing continues to look and if it's going to improve a little bit. But it's already starting to get that spin on. You guys can already see how it's starting to spin. So it's trying. It's definitely trying. Let's see here. And I thought that mid-80s are hot in New York. I used to live in Virginia most of my life, actually. And, well, yeah, I mean, it definitely can get hot in those regions of the Mid-Atlantic and stuff. It's a little different. The heat is a lot different down south. It's a lot more muggier than it is up there. Personally, I do prefer muggier heat. I do prefer Florida heat rather than Virginia heat because it's different. Believe it or not, it's a lot different. I know this is kind of an unpopular opinion here, but I personally do like it more muggy than non. To be honest with you, and I know a lot of people don't like that, but personally, I do like that a little bit better overall. But anyways, my friends, well, we're gonna go ahead and do a final call for any questions before we roll off here. Like I said, I know it's getting pretty late here. I gotta get some sleep, and we're gonna do another update tomorrow morning for you guys. Probably early tomorrow afternoon, actually, probably around anywhere from 12 to 2 p.m. We'll do another update for you guys tomorrow on the severe weather side of things. I think we just got a marginal, so I don't think we're gonna need any. We're not gonna need any coverage tomorrow. We do got ourselves a couple of marginal risks out there, potential for a little bit of severe weather in these dark green areas here. We do have a 2% tornado risk. Tomorrow night we'll cover that as we do have that landfall. So tomorrow night we'll do some landfall coverage. Let's see here. When it comes to the winds and the hail, we do get a little bit of a wind threat between Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Missouri. Another risk out there towards Panhandle, Texas, Panhandle, Oklahoma, Southwestern Kansas, Southeastern Colorado, and kind of eastern portions of New Mexico. And hail probabilities just for those areas down south. But yeah, so no coverage regarding severe weather is expected tomorrow. It will not be needed. But overall, that's kind of where we stand here. And of course, Thursday, we got a little bit of a northeastern threat, a little marginal risk here, covering a bit of the northeast. Otherwise, mostly just generalized thunderstorms expected. Further on down in time, over the next, from days 4 to 8, we are not expecting anything. So we're kind of in a quieter period regarding severe weather, which I'm definitely thankful for. But time to pan the attention from the severe weather down into the tropics here, because we are going to have a couple systems we do need to watch. But yeah, this is the main one here. This is the one that we're going to really have to watch out for the next little bit. Once again, I'm not too worried about wind damage with this storm. I mean, while there will be potential for some damage from these winds, I'm mostly concerned about flooding. That's the main problem. And like I was saying, we're going to have some areas that could see up to a foot of rain out of the storm out there near Corpus Christi. So definitely be careful out there. But anyways, my friends, let's see here. Good night, Brady. Thanks for joining. Good night, Tash. And but all right, y'all. So last call. If y'all have any questions before we roll off here, feel free to let me know. And like I said, we're going to go ahead and head off here pretty soon, my friends. Like I said, we pretty much covered everything we need to. It's getting kind of late, so I did promise you guys I would come back on later. Earlier when we did our live coverage, I promised I'd come back on later for a late tropical update for you guys. We'll do the same tomorrow. I promise you we'll do an update on the tropics tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, somewhere around that time. And for the evening, we'll do that coverage on that tropical system. So tomorrow morning will be the last update on the tropical system, followed next being the coverage overall. But anyways, Haley, I did not accidentally say Virginia. I lived in both Virginia and Kentucky. I lived in Virginia, what was it, 18 years about? No, 18 or 19 years of my life. And I lived in Kentucky for about 2 years, and I've lived down here for almost a year. But anyways, all right, guys. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Once again, thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate it. Once again, a big thank you does go to J-Lore for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the donation, my friend. And thank you for everybody who subscribed. Greatly appreciated. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, leaving a like on your way out. It would be greatly appreciated, my friends. And if you guys can, like I said, consider sharing this too. Consider sharing the channel to help get the word out there, so we can keep you guys updated on the tropics, the severe weather, and when the time is right, winter weather. But like I said, we're gonna go. I can't even talk. It's late. But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, my friends. We'll catch y'all tomorrow morning for a bit of an update here on the tropics. Once again, we're not expecting any coverage for severe weather tomorrow, but we are going to do coverage for our first tropical cyclone tomorrow night for you guys. Actually, it might be early. I might even say it could be early Thursday morning. Just depends on when exactly that landfall is expected, but we'll figure that out later today. Alrighty, guys. Well, once again, thanks for joining. You all have a wonderful rest of your night. Sleep good and have a great day tomorrow, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow for some more updates and all of that fun stuff. But all right, guys. Once again, thank you all for joining. You all have a great night, and we will catch you all later on. See you later, guys. Have a great night.